I'm Barry, and this is July 8th, 2012, and this is my 14th official vlog. I was at work the other day, and there's a person who I sometimes work with, and they're the kind of person who they're always grumpy. And you always know that they're grumpy because they let you know that they're grumpy. And this person, it's like how they talk is in a constant profane, grumpy mutter. Like there's just always muttering about what they're grumpy about. And I know this person must have happy thoughts sometimes too, because they don't seem totally miserable, but you go grumpy, 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 then happy, 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 and grumpy and sneezy and so on. But all you hear from this person is grumpy. And it just seems like there's a lot of people nowadays who have problems. And like everybody needs the pill, like the pill that you see on the television where they tell you should tell your doctor that you need, except you're going to have all these problems, but you'll feel better. I mean, it's like we've become one of those science fiction movies from the 1950s where, like, the whole world is gone crazy, except for just a small few number of people who are trying to hold it together for everybody else. Except that doesn't make a lot of sense. It's kind of hard to believe that that's really our reality right now. That doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't think that most people have, in fact, gone crazy and need a pill. I don't think so. I think that what's happened is that there's become an epidemic of people who just have their internal dialogue just leak out of their mouths without any of the necessary filters. Because I'll tell you what, if you're listening to a person's internal dialogue, you're probably going to think that they're crazy or confused, because when we're thinking our thoughts, what we're doing is having a process where we're trying to make our thoughts make sense. And sometimes that process can be messy, or it can take a long time. And I'll tell you what, if my internal dialogue was just leaking out of my mouth all the time, people would think I had problems, especially if I was thinking the grumpy thoughts. But lucky for me, that doesn't happen, because what I do is I think, is this the thought that I want to have? And is this a fully formed thought that I like and that I want to identify with? Then I thought, is this fully formed thought that I'm choosing to identify with right now something that another person might want to hear? And this is the most important one. Is right now an appropriate time to impose my thought upon this other person right here, who is almost certainly completely occupied with processing their own thoughts? But a lot of people don't do any of those steps that I've listed. A lot of people's mouths are just leaking internal dialogue so freely that here's what happens. People hear their own thoughts out loud, and because they're hearing themselves say the thought, they think that they believe the thought, because the human brain that formerly exercised all of the above mentioned filtering mechanisms, it's conditioned to trust that the mouth is saying the thought out loud, that it must be the real thing. So they've heard themselves say what they just said, and so they identify with the thing that they just said, believing it to be true, and then they proceed to defend the thought against any forces that may choose to question it, because they are that thought. And their defense of said thought is, to be consistent, just another flurry of internal dialogue being processed externally. And the cycle continues. Till the entire society is just talking incessantly and inanely and indulgently and faster and faster and faster, until the mouths seem to actually preempt the half-formed, not analyzed thoughts themselves. And you throw texting and Facebook into the equation. I'm going to use profanity. We're pretty much fucked. I like it here, though. I like it here a lot. I'm Barry, and this has been my vlog.